Yo, guys, what is up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of JR14. Here I am. It's gonna look a little weird just because of the fact that oh no, I can see myself here. So I have my computer set up here, so this way I can utilize my phone for the live stream as well as focus on the comments from here. So I'll be able to see everything from here. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. I am, and you can see a lot of this on the table, and we're definitely going to get into that in a few minutes. I know that I want to try to get a couple other people in this chat. Give me 1 second, really quickly, before we get started. I'm going to close this door real quick so we got no interference with the noise. All right, so hope everyone is just doing great. So as you guys can see, here's the merch. So by the way, if you want the merch, if you like the JR14 shirt, this is the original shirt that comes out. I believe this is $20 on Teespring. If you go to below this video, I believe so. If you scroll right below this video, okay, so if you're on this video right now, if you're watching it from your phone on your YouTube mobile app, if you have YouTube, if you on the YouTube app, if you're watching this clip right here, you should still be able to see that. If you scroll underneath the video feed, you'll be able to see all the listings of the merch that is available. Another thing is that if you're on your computer, it's the same exact thing. You won't be able to buy the merch on your TV like this, like if you have an Xbox or a Fire Stick. But if you're on your computer, you'll be able to do that as well. So you'll be able to just to scroll down and you'll be having all the merch here. This is actually a Hanes shirt. I just got mine today, so I can give you a little bit of idea of the quality. I like the fact that it's kind of like a vintage print on the shirt itself. So I think that's kind of cool. And again, you can get hoodies. You can also get hoodies. What else can you get? There's another style of shirt that's also made in a t-shirt, and also a hoodie as well. So if you want to go ahead and purchase those, you can do that on here. Now, wow, okay, so we got 20 people watching here right now, so that's definitely cool, and I definitely appreciate you guys along this journey. As you guys already know, if you guys have seen a lot of this stuff already, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, my Instagram is JR14YT on Instagram, so go ahead and follow me now on there if you want to get more updates, quicker updates on the Project Mark 7 engine build. You can also, I will put snippets of it on my Instagram, considering it's readily available. Wow, with the iPhone, it's actually pretty good. This is good quality right now. I'm looking at it from my computer, so I'm like just making sure that everything is copacetic. If not, I have to go adjust. But so far, so good. I actually will do my Q&As like this from now on. So, Ava's in here. What's up, Ava? What's going on? Ken Chow said, yo, sold a car at European Auto. I feel the pain, buddy. I appreciate that, man. It's definitely a process building an engine. So let's talk about that. So pretty much we're talking about the engine rebuild update Q&A, and that's going to be involving uh, how long it's been, what have we decided to do, who's going to be doing the work, the companies that I use to make it possible, and to make this all possible, and what can you expect. And also, if you have some questions for me, you can ask me during, or you can ask me during the live chat here. Then I'll be able to respond to your comments on here. Now, also, if you, oh, I wonder what just happened. Hang on a second, guys. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh God. There we go. Give it a second. I don't know what the heck just happened here. For some reason, this thing's definitely just not responding to it very well. Okay, good. I think we're back. We're good to go. Hopefully. I have no idea why it did that, but it was level. It was definitely level. So I'm going to do this again, and if not, I'll think of another solution. It's not a big deal, so I do apologize about that. But so we all know I'm not going to go into the whole thing about the whole story, how the car, broke down or anything like that. You already guys already know that. If you do want to check that out, check my previous videos that I will leave in the description down below. The engine failure video, which is also a live stream. You can check that out. I think it's a couple videos ago. And this video, as you guys can see here, which just went to a commercial, that's actually that's the last day that the Project Mark 7 ran before there were issues. So, all right, that thing just fell again. So I'm pretty much done using this thing. So I'm just gonna use. I'm just going to go ahead and use. I figured that would work, but it didn't work, and this thing's already brick hot. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just do it this way. Nah, it's not my house. It's not my house. Hang on, let me just flip this camera over so you guys can see me like this. All right, so basically, I do apologize about that. So I actually have a gimbal, and I figured, I'm like, oh, this will be perfect because I have a Joby stand and I can use it with that and just figure out just to do it that way instead. The audio is better now. I didn't even know the audio was bad. So, well, thank God this happened a little earlier than expected. So, but yeah, so pretty much what's going on so far is that um, you obviously already know what happened. Let me just turn this volume down so I don't hear myself twice. But pretty much we have gone ahead and assessed what the damage was. Well, we haven't really taken the engine out, but we know what failed and we know what caused the failure. So pretty much what's going to end up happening is that during this whole build series, you're going to see everything. Meaning, I believe this week, most likely either Thursday, which is tomorrow, or Friday or Saturday, we're going to start taking this engine apart and taking it out of the car, which means breaking down everything, taking the car, lowering the subframe, disconnecting everything, the motor mounts, the trans mount, the dog bone mount, the subframe drop, all disconnecting all the vacuum and coolant hoses and the turbo disassembly. I might think we can actually drop the turbo while it's in the while it's on the engine actually. So I think we'll be able to do that with no issues at all. So don't quote me on that. But hopefully we can get this underway very soon. But I'm really sorry about this. I'm sorry that it didn't. It looked so professional before, and I might have to get a new gimbal. But okay. But back to the topic at hand. So pretty much, wow, you guys already started commenting. So how long has the car been down? So the car broke down literally this past Sunday, which was this Sunday that just passed, has literally been about a month. It's been about a month since the car's been down and hasn't been touched yet. And you guys are probably going to ask me, well, why hasn't it been touched yet? Like, what's going on? And why are you going to do, why is it taking so long? And why? There's a lot of things that go into an engine rebuild, especially locating all the parts, making sure you have everything. And then that's what I'm going to show you now. So, pretty much, so we talked about it's been down for a month. And it's not cheap. I already knew, I was already prepared for this happening. So I have the funds to take care of this issue and to provide this content for you guys, of course. So I'm really not too concerned about that. Let me see if I can put you guys down here or somewhere here. I think, oh, this is perfect if I could do this. Come on. Come on. Innovation. Perfect. All right, so we got another way of doing this without me holding this device, and it's not all shaky. Yep, Grand Theft Auto right there. Some H&R car and Turner race car shots right there. So you definitely have that out of the way. So pretty much right now, like I was saying, sorry that I'm babbling. Until Casper knocks your phone down again. Yo, actually, I'm not going to go into it again, but it's literally the gimbal, and the gimbal just was like, it got too hot keeping it stable for so long, and it just decided not to do it. So I might be getting another gimbal to replace that because this is my content, and I need my content to look as good as you guys see me right now. So I'll probably be looking for that. I'll probably looking for that very soon. I know it's not a goal, but an RS3 engine swap or an R drivetrain swap is something that I'm thinking about. So we're going to talk about all that very, very soon. I'll definitely want to let you guys know that we're going to be talking about all that. It would be very sick. Okay, so let's talk. So pretty much what happened, crank walk. What is crank walk? So pretty much crank walk is pretty much
Um, it's pretty much when the dry shaft, I'm sorry, the dry shaft, the crankshaft moves from side to side as you're depressing the clutch pedal. So as you're depressing the clutch pedal with the throwout bearing, um, it's actually putting stress on the crankshaft itself. The only thing that's causing that failure, it's not the clutch itself. It's actually the thrust bearings inside the center that keep that pretty much are lodged in the center of the block, and it prevents the crankshaft from moving side to side. Obviously, when you're moving it side to side, it's eating bearing material, it's grinding away at the block of the motor, and it can cause some severe damage. So pretty much the engine starved oil because the metal got into the pickup tube, and we don't know the extent of the damage yet. I do believe the car jumped timing as well, which is also interesting, because it happened just so suddenly. It just happened. So I'm sure the tensioner either was not broken, but I don't know exactly what's wrong with it yet. But the chains are still intact. They might have slightly stretched, and it probably skipped the tooth. If it skipped the tooth, it started fine and idled fine. Um, so pretty much that's pretty much what happened. I know, and a lot of people in the comments in the previous videos, a lot of you guys did support everything that's been going on. Some of you guys had some negative stuff to say. I know that was going to happen. I really don't care about it, but this is where we're at right now, and this is how we're going to move forward. Now, I'm not going to be explaining myself of why I did what I did. I had good reason to do what I did, and with regards to starting the car, making sure everything was good, and that's the reasoning of why those issues occurred. So, fast forward. Now, everyone's wondering, well, some people already know, but the people who don't know, who's actually going to be doing the work on the car? Let me just see something really quickly. I just noticed something on this. Huh. It's not a big deal. Um, so, who's going to be doing the work? Um, I wanted to deal with a shop that is very experienced, cost effective, uh, people I know personally, and people who will allow me to film without worrying about me getting hurt or anything like that. And the reasoning of why is because I really want to document this for my channel and document this for you guys, because you guys are fans of mine, especially with this whole Mark 7 project. um, Things of that nature. Also, just quickly, if you guys see comments, uh, tell us about that fluid dampener. Oh wow, last human garage. Yes, I will get to that. We're going to be talking about all the parts that you did see in the beginning of this live stream. So we're going to talk about that as well. That is another reason why the engine's taking so long to do, is because I have to locate every single little bolt, gasket, washer, piece, pump, housing, everything. I'm literally replacing absolutely every single component on this engine. Um, Now, what is the route that we decided to do? Now we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the shop. So the shop that's going to be working on the car is European Auto. They actually, I've known them for a while. I know the owner personally. Me and a good friend, well, Calvin. Me and Calvin know the owner pretty well, and he definitely said this is an easy job to do. The mechanic that's going to be working on the car. Um, the mechanic that's going to be working on the car, his name is Felipe. He's a Volkswagen specialist. He knows Volkswagens in and out. The Mark 5, 6, 7, also Mark 7.5. He said that he has no problem doing it, and it'll be pretty much a good idea to do something like this. Now, a lot of you guys did make suggestions. A lot of you guys sent me links of motors that I should get, and that's the next thing that we're going to be talking about. So, um, let's see what's going on here. Last Human Garage. I remove people like that from my chats, but it's his call. I just let the people. I already know who this Ava person is, and I'm not going to entertain it. So let's just keep moving forward. So pretty much, what ended up happening was I found the shop that'll be doing it. Um, oh, let's see. Let's think about that cheap turbo you installed in Syracuse. All right. Is going into the right path. Boosted JR14 is going on the right path. All right. He's on a good start. All right, Ava, I'm kicking you out of this. Um, I don't know how I can do this now, but I'm not really okay. If it gets worse, then I don't want to stop this. Obviously, we're on a live right now, and I'm not gonna tolerate anything in regards of anyone bashing any of the companies that I've worked with or any of the things that I do. Now, obviously, no one's gonna agree, or some people won't agree. Some people do agree. Some people support. Some people don't. That's fine. If you don't have nothing nice to say, I would just say this right now. Keep your comments to yourself. Now, some people told me, hey, why don't you get a Golf R? I actually was looking at that option. The Golf R just did not make sense to me now, even still with money. It didn't make sense to I would still have to fix this car. So even if I had to, obviously I owe on this car still, I'm financing it. So pretty much what's going on is that I'm having an issue with trying to figure out, should I get a new car? Should I get another Mark 7? Should I get a Mark 7.5? Should I give should I get a Mark 7.5R? I wasn't going to get a just a Mark 7 GTI, used one. That wouldn't make sense. But uh, I decided to. I'm like, okay, well, I really like. I said, I like. You know what? I do like the new Mark 7.5 front ends. I would get a GTI or Mark 7.5R. So I really was looking at the R, and it really just didn't make sense. So it was just way too expensive. Even if I would still have to fix the car by putting in like a $2,000 used engine, the labor to put it in, which would cost me about 4,000. I'm probably in negative equity because I drove the car so much. I don't care. Again, my intentions on getting this car. Um, all right, hang on a second, guys. I'm sorry that I have to do this. I'm sorry that I'm literally going to um, manage my participants. Hang on a second. I do apologize. I do apologize about this. Hang on one second. There we go. So everyone sees that I'm not playing around. Now he is out of the picture. Out of the picture for like 300 seconds. And let's see. I'm trying to make sure that I get all this out. I have no idea he's talking crap, but I don't really like to talk about people like that. I'm not gonna make this about him. He just wants attention, and that's what it is. So now what's going to happen is we have the shop. It didn't make sense to get an R because an 600 a month, and then on top of that, I still have to put negative equity from my car into that car, and then I still have to fix this car to trade it in. So that's going to be accumulating in this. So I figured it would be a good time to build this car, meaning that I'm actually going to go ahead and make the bottom end much more stronger. It's expensive, but it's a cost effective way with the options that I had. A lot of people just said, well, why not the engine and put it in the car? That is a good idea, and it would have been a cheaper route. The issue with that is that this problem could potentially happen again with another used engine. It can also be an issue where um, this can also be an issue of I will have other problems with the engine because with that what that engine's been through. The engine's been sitting on the shelf and it has 40 some thousand miles on it. I don't know how that car was treated for 40,000 miles or 50,000 miles or 30,000 miles. Um, and a lot of you guys, and you know what, me and Gio, the owner of, just sat down and really like mapped out the options that I had. And we came to the conclusion that a lot of you guys wanted to see this build. So that's kind of why we're doing this. Now, why is it taking, why? So does this repair usually take long? The repair, no. If I had everything in front of me, if I had a used engine, the car would have already been back on the road. However, it takes time when you're trying to build a new engine with everything. And it is an expensive component. Are expensive parts, and these are some of the components that I'm showing you, right? That I'm going to be showing you today. The issue is that I don't want the car, every little chain, bolt, pump, gasket has 98,000 miles of wear on it. So it wouldn't make sense for me to get the parts that I need and put old parts back on this new platform or this new built engine I'm doing for something else to fail, like a head gasket or head bolts or an oil pump or a water pump. So I just decided we're gonna do a built bottom end, something that's easy to get, obtain, and cost effective. So I decided to go with the your I decided to go with the integrated engineering route. So a lot of you guys have gone on integrated engineering's website and seen the MQB Gen 3 EA888 motor, triple eight motor. That has forged internals from the rods, the erase bearings, the pistons, the Molly pistons that are 9.3 to 1 compression. All everything's already assembled. Another good thing is I don't have to wait. I got lucky. I actually didn't have to wait for that. They had one assembled and ready to. So I put that money down and said I want to allocate that. Um, my assembly date was I got the car in September 2016. My assembly date was August 2016, the very first week of August 2016. So now a lot of these parts I had to find, and Deutsche Auto Parts was a major help with that. Now with the small bits, and a lot of other companies did help too. ECS definitely helped. And obviously in the build series, you'll understand why ECS helped in a minute. Well, and later on in the build series. But this is really about Deutsche Auto Parts, and the other few things that I got. So the few things that I did get was, so for instance, there's a lot of OEM components like this. This is an oil pump. This was one of the major issues of what caused the engine to fail. So I decided to not even troubleshoot the old one. If it's good, then well, but it's still at 97,000 miles of wear. So I got a new one, a brand new oil pump, so I don't have to worry about it. 0 miles. The IE block is refreshed. It's brand new. I got a brand new bottom end. Stuff as such as this. So I'm actually going to take the camera really quickly, and I'm going to show you everything that we have here. Let's start off with this bag. I'm not going to take everything out, but literally all the gaskets and these. So there's 4 of these. These are actually fuel injector removal kits. So that's these. This is obviously the gasket that goes on this turbo, which you see. And this is also a kit, so all are in this bag. We do have silicone, RTV. We do have, like, I'm telling you, like, my oil cap I noticed had a little bit of oil seepage, which is very common. So I ordered a new one. I think this is like $10 on ShopTap. So a new one just to be on the. I don't want to have any issues with this engine. Speaking of that, I actually want to take something out of here. Oh, this is one of the things I actually wanted to show you guys. So this right here is actually the timing chain. I think this is the bigger one. Well, no, this is the one that goes on the top. So as you can see, these are the timing alignment teeth right here. They're a different color. There's 3 of them that match up to 3 pieces on the engine. So let me put this back. So yeah, so I had to get all of this stuff. With the timing set, Deutsche Auto Parts definitely had like a whole kit available, and you can select what you want in that kit. The pricing was a little under $700, I believe. I could be wrong, but you got to check their website on that. And like little stuff like this. So when you saw that 70,000 mile review on YouTube, when I changed these spark plugs, it was so cold out that I actually broke the tabs on these, on 3 out of 4 of them. So I decided this would be a good time to replace these. So we're going to repin these and put them in the new car. I'm sorry, put these in the new engine so I have brand new clips so we can ensure security on the spark plugs. Now, speaking of spark plugs, for this application, I can still run the plugs that I've been running. These are them right here. Uranium Power IKH24s, 5346, and there's 4 of these in here. These are very affordable. They're under $40 on shoptap.com. Now, with those, I said, let me make sure that I get the ignition that I'm needing. So I got these from FCP Euro. These are actually the red top RS3 ignition coils. So the ignition coils, I think, are an important aspect due to the fact that obviously we're going to be running more power, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I wanted to make sure that I had the ignition side hands down. I'm still going to gap these to 0.024, which is the necessary gap for an OEM. Hang on. I'm actually going to hang on. Give me a second here, guys. User on a timeout. Now let's see if I can remove him. Okay. So, no, you're supposed to. I actually ran these before. I've been running these in my car for a while. Ever since I've been running stage two, I ran them a little bit on my original IS-20 on stage two, and I always gapped them to point 0.024, and I had no issues. It's a step colder. This is kind of like the RS7 plug. The only reason why I went with these because I heard the horror story about RS7, even though the RS7 plugs, how they blew like the heads or anything because the tops would break, the little nipples, this little piece right here would break, and it'll cause a really, really bad day. NGK racing plugs are also good, but I'm comfortable with these because I ran them before and I had no issues with them. So that's kind of why I ran these. Now, as you guys already heard, I'm running the RS3 Red Pack ignition coils. Just of a shelf tune. Stay safe, man. Custom tunes are risky. Well, yeah, and the reason why they are risky is you just know who you're going with. Now, that's also another thing. The reason why this engine blew had nothing to do with the tuner. My tuner was great. However, I know he's very, very busy and he's in the UK. So I'm actually going with someone that's pretty local, well, local in the United States. So with this turbo, which is the Lico, we're going to talk about that in the mill. We're going to talk about that in a second, but this, I actually, if you guys already know, I already did a hybrid IS-38, and the crazy thing about these is that you will have to run a Pro Tune or a custom map to run a hybrid turbo setup. No matter which hybrid turbo setup you have, APR doesn't offer a map with a hybrid IS-38. They only offer a map with map for a conventional IS-38, and they are very different, and I'll show you that in a minute. So this, let's put this bag down for a second. Let me put this on the floor because we finished talking about everything in there, and I'm not taking all that out. So this is the L500 turbo kit. So this is from Litco. This is an IS-38 hybrid. So on the I'm sorry, on the so this is an IS-38 essentially, but it's bored out in the middle. And this actually, the L450, these fins were straight. Now I believe there's a couple more fins in here, and now they're kind of like in this slanted pattern. And I'm sure that's for a better airflow. And there's dual fins inside of these. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but there you go. But and there's a ball bearing. No, it's not a ball bearing. I'm sorry. This is a twin scroll, and this is the back end of it as well. The thing about Lico is that the main reason of why they're doing this is just because of the fact that there's issues with the regular IS-38s when it comes down to. Hang on, let me flip this back on me. When it comes down to the middle shaft where the turbine wheels go, the issue with that is that sometimes that's the weak point of an IS-38. So what he does is he gets a conventional IS-38, he opens it up and guts it all out. Then he machines the inside of it to make it bigger, and then adds his own flare for the for the turbine wheel exhaust side and intake side of it as well. And the good thing about these is that they are bolt on. Now, the only reason why I'm running an L500 kit now instead of before is because the bottom end that I got from Integrated Engineering, yes, I did get that. No, it's not at my house because it's an engine. So I shipped that directly to the shop so they have it. But literally right now we're pretty much at the point of if I already have a built bottom end that's good for 550 plus horsepower, I might as well do the L500 kit. So I exchanged my L450 for an L500. And I believe that turbo is going to do great. Now, everyone is concerned about the tune. And yes, when you're running a turbo like this, or even other hybrid IS-38s, you are required to run a Pro Tune. This is difference for how this turbo interacts or responds compared to a conventional IS-38. Also, fueling is involved. The L500 you cannot run on your Mark 7. You can, but you're never going to even come close to the potentials of running the turbo at its true potential without even considering doing fueling. So the next modification that is going to be done while this engine build is happening is the fuel pumps. I am upgrading both the high pressure fuel pump with Autotech and a low pressure fuel pump with Precision. Um, I am going to be doing both of those. This will enable me to run more fuel, which means more power. Also, now I need to consider the air coming in. Now, I did all the air modifications except one thing. I've done the intercooler, which is also integrated engineering. I've done the intake, which is Forge Motorsport. I've done the blow-off valve, which holds boost a little bit better and it holds it a lot stronger with stronger PSIs. But I never changed the charge pipes. So actually, what I found this on let me just make sure I take this out without spilling it. I actually ordered the spool and charge pipes from USP Motorsports. Now, the reason why I went with these, this is just one of the pipes. I didn't bring them all in here, obviously, because there's just a lot of crap. I only wanted to cover this table with some of the essential stuff to talk about them a little bit. Now, the reason why that's the only thing that I have not done is my upgraded charge pipes. Obviously, they're metal, so they're bigger in diameter, and it'll be able to hold boost a lot better. So I want to be able to carry more air through the intake at a given time rather than running the skinny into it's sometimes there's restrictions with the bends in the plastic piping, and I'm surprised even with the L450 my stock my stock piping, my discharge pipe and my throttle pipe has not lost any type of boost at all, which is shocking because I know it's a common thing for it to possibly go out if you're running too much power. My L450 with Unicorn Motor Developments was around 27 psi. This obviously will be able to push a little bit more, obviously a lot more, but it just depends on the tuner and what he thinks about the car and everything else. Now, I won't be afraid to run this at maximum potential just because of the fact that everything is new in the car and I have a bottom end that can support it. Now, the only thing that will be reused because it wasn't damaged is the head. The head, the valves, the valve springs. The only thing that's going to be rechanged is the only thing that's going to be changed is the valve spring. I'm sorry, the valve guides and the seats to make sure they are sealed properly. I am gonna have the heads taken apart at a professional shop, FFE Racing in Deer Park. They're going to clean it up for me, machine everything, get everything all nice and clean, and reassemble and do a pressure test on the heads and make sure all that is good. So we are going to do that, and essentially it'll be a refurbished head on a brand new bottom end. There's nothing wrong with the valves. I spoke to ShopDap. I spoke to Paul from ShopDap. I spoke to Charles, the humble mechanic. I spoke to a lot of other people that said there's no real reason to change your valves and valve retainer springs unless if you want to rev the car to 8,000 RPM. It's not a Civic. I'm not revving it to 8,000 RPM. I think 7,000 on its current setup is high enough. Now, who's going to be tuning the car? I have decided, and me and Ed are going to be doing this. I am curious of what Ed can do. Ed Suman, he's the owner and the tuner for Equilibrium Tuning. He will be doing the tuning for the Project Mark 7. I don't know if we're going to do E85 yet, but I do have the support of the pumps if I decide to do it. When we take the injectors out, we are going to be making sure that those are flowing properly, that there's no issues with getting fuel. If anything does go wrong with any of them, last Human Garage, I've heard great things about them. To give you an example of the type of power that they run, this is a good example. So Ed Suman posted, like, there's an equilibrium tuning page form on Facebook, and I actually went ahead and looked. Obviously I was shopping to look and see what he has to offer, and I was very impressed when I saw a few cars and also this. It was a 2016 GTI performance package with all bolt-ons. His equilibrium tuning hybrid IS38 on pump 91 and a high pressure fuel pump. No low pressure fuel pump, stock low pressure fuel pump, upgraded high pressure fuel pump. The GTI safely made 441 wheel horsepower and 447 pound-feet of torque. That already blew my mind because of the fact that he was on his version of the hybrid. which I believe this is a little bit beefier than that, or they're roughly around the same. I don't really know for sure, but I heard that the Litco L500 is similar in ways, but also different. I will be, doing the tuning with him. Even if the goal for this build is 500 wheel, that's the goal for it. I think that I can get that. If I can't get it, that's okay. If the car made 485, I'm not gonna stress it. That's what the car made. I believe I can get the 500 because one, it's very, very frigid and cold outside. Cars love cold air, especially in New York where it's 20 something degrees, and the car will just suck up all that cold air and just run at its best in the wintertime. That's any turbo car in any cold climate. So I believe with the cold weather, I'll be able to get 500. And if I can't get the 500 on pump, I'm damn sure going to be able to get the 500 on E85 or a mix of maybe like an E50 blend or E40 blend. Also, some of the other things that I did purchase was this. The IE intake manifold, they don't make it for the Mark 7 yet. I'm still waiting on that. I actually did talk to Integrated Engineering in regards to that. I do want to run an upgraded intake manifold. For now, we're going to be running the stock one. There's nothing wrong with my stock one. And I was going to do a carbon cleaning with Shop That, but there's no need to now, considering the fact that the heads are going to be... they're going to be greased down. They're going to be taken apart, machined, put back together. The car is going to be pretty much a vehicle with no miles. It's going to be not even a car that you pick up at a dealership. The engine's never going to have turned over before. So this is another thing that I decided to get. Just because we're going to be running more heat and more pressure in the crankcase, I decided to get something that's not going to warp or buckle against the engine block. And this is, I believe this is, what is this called? A IABED rear main seal. And actually, there's the bolts here, and then the gasket is in here. I believe the metal ring, this metal plate, you can reuse again. You just have to replace these O-rings. I think port injection is good. However, I kind of still want to take baby steps into changing the fueling completely different. This way, I just know that the pumps were changed. Let me see, what is this? Are you going to have to bore up your cylinders? Have some wear. I'll talk about the braking process in a second because we have figured out how to do that. So this is also something that I want to make sure that I run. I wanted to buy it a while ago, but I didn't have the funds before because this is expensive. It's like $130 for this. So I just got the $40 stock one from ShopDep. I never had a leaking issue at all. I never had any oil seep through the rear main seal. So I never really had rear main seal problems. When I did the DKM clutch, I actually just swapped it out to change it because that is when you're supposed to be looking at it. Like around at the time we had 60,000 miles. So I just said, screw it. The transmission's already out. Might as well change it. In other words, if you have your pistons now, are they oversized? So the good thing about the integrated engineering block, it's already assembled. Yes, they are slightly bigger than stock. Stock, I believe they're 81.5 millimeters. I could be wrong, but I now know that they're bored out to 83 millimeters. So the good thing about the easiest process with this as well is that when I already got the block, between us, I already looked at it, but you guys haven't looked at it yet. I'm doing a whole dedicated video on looking at the crank and comparing it and everything else. So it's a brand new assembled short block that includes the pistons, the rods, the bearings, the drive shaft. I'm sorry, I keep saying drive shaft. Crankshaft in a block that came in a pallet to me. All I have to do is bolt up all the accessories to it, and everything's good to go. All you Mark 7 owners, I never thought I would have this issue, but I did start having this issue the day of the engine failing, and that was the water pump. So I actually, like I said, like I told you guys before, I actually am going to go ahead and replace all of this stuff. So I went ahead. This is the water pump. This is all it is. It already has the gasket inside of it already, and this is the pump itself. The other box here, I'm not going to take it out, is the thermostat housing. There's a small, like, neck. I also see the Avid crank seal on FCP Euro. Yes, you can get it from them. I got mine through ECS. As you guys can see the box right here. I got it through ECS Tuning. One, they had it available because I know those rear main seals are hard to come by. it's hard to keep them in stock. So I ended up just picking it up and just saying screw it, whatever it costs, just get it so that I have it. Also, a couple things that I have here as well. Small things like this. This is why I like Shop App. These are two of the guides that go inside of the timing case set. So as you can see here, like these guides have like little lips on them. The chain just runs down this, and this is covered in oil. So the chain just glide across through these. I think it's kind of cool to see stuff like this firsthand because obviously you never really look at it because the engine's always closed up. But it is kind of cool. Also, I do have, the oil level sensor. So also pick this up. I forgot to order from Shop That with the major order, and we're gonna start taking the car apart this week. So I kind of wanted to just hurry up and get this. So I bought this from FCP Euro. Uh, just another OEM replacement rear main seal. It does have the Volkswagen number on it. It's made by Continental, and there's the part number right there, so you guys can see that. And the only thing now I'm waiting for, let's see, I'm waiting for the low pressure fuel pump for Precision. It's actually I bought that from Ed. He's actually a precision kit dealer, precision racing dealer. He's actually I'm waiting for him to get that so I can get that shipped to me. The other thing that I'm waiting for is my decam clutch. I contacted them today. They're probably going to look and see everything else. Now, the Last Human Garage also did ask one thing, and he's right because I do really need to talk about it, is because it's something that can possibly prevent crank walk in the future, and that is this guy. I'm not going to take him out. Fluid dampener. So, with this, fluid dampener is very important. It's just because of the fact that this is what is essentially a fluid dampener is a harmonic balancer, or layman's terms, it is a crankshaft pulley. It is the biggest pulley on your GTI. So that is the one with the big fat bolt in the center of it, and where the serpentine belt goes around. This is the main pulley that the belt goes around. So this is what actually turns all the other components around in the engine, your alternator, your belt, your crankcase, everything else. Can you repost the live on the channel after, please? Because I have to go and... Yes. So don't worry about the live stream. If you are watching it right now and you have to go, that's perfectly fine. It will be uploaded as a normal video after this is done. Give it about 24 hours and you'll be able to watch it all tomorrow. But this part is very important due to the fact that when you're adding power to the car, obviously now you're adding extra vibrations in your crankcase, which can possibly cause what my issue was, which was the crank walk. This part varies on different websites. Some websites like ShopDep's 400. I've seen it on FCP Euro for close to 500. I've seen it on sale for 350. I actually purchased this directly from Fluid Dampener because I had questions with them regarding this part, and you will see this dedicated on the build on the channel. This was very important to have. If you do modify your car past stage 2, I will recommend that you do get this. A $400 to $500 part can save you from a $9,000 engine repair. So if you are doing that, I would really suggest that you guys go ahead and definitely look at this. This is very, very important to get. You're definitely going to see it on the build series on my channel, and this is very important. And they're actually located upstate New York, which is ironic. So I did get this relatively quickly. Also, guys, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you give it a it's a donut within the donut. It's surrounded by fluid. Yes. So that's why they call fluid dampener. So it's more fluid inside the dampener to actually offset the balance to make sure that there's no vibrations in the crankcase. So this way you can actually frees up a lot of horsepower too. So I can get horsepower from that. You can see anywhere from 15 to 25 horsepower just from changing the pulley. Less stress on the actual crankcase. So it actually frees up a lot of horsepower. But another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is how long will it take? So we pretty much got almost everything in, and now if we're taking the engine apart, European Auto already told me that it's going to take about a day to get the engine out. It's going to take about a week to get the head work done. And the only thing I'm waiting for also is an oil catch can from Racing Line Performance. This is the only thing I'm waiting for right now. So that's pretty much it. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you some of the parts that are going to be incorporated in this build, just because of the fact that I know you guys have been asking about it, especially with the last video that I posted up. You guys are definitely interested in this, so I definitely wanted to make sure that um, I definitely wanted to make sure that you guys get all the knowledge and everything that I know, and then I'm learning stuff too. So we'll actually get to break everything down and see everything in whole, and you guys will get to see that too. I'll try to be very, very, very not I wouldn't explicit's not the word, very, very detailed. So this way you get to see a lot of information, you get to see a lot of the inner workings of the motor and everything else and what exactly caused the fail. Now I'm going to spend the last 15 minutes here. Thanks a lot for having me. I got to put my kids to bed. Last Human Garage. Definitely a pleasure having you in this live stream. I really do appreciate it. I know that you support the channel. I support yours too. So definitely keep up the Mark 7.5 content. You gave me some ideas. Also, if there's some money left over in this budget, I am going to be adding a couple things as well. I am going to be changing the head unit. That's a one thing I'm going to be changing from a Mark 7 to a Mark 7.5 head unit. Last Human Garage knows what I'm talking about. The 8-inch glass display, I'm going to be changing it to that. The good thing is it's just a swap of the head unit and it should still be functional. You will see that on the channel. I'm also going to be wrapping my steering wheel through Alcantara suede from Pin Alloy. And then later on, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to show you that option. And I'm also going to show you an option where we're going to add a carbon fiber steering wheel to the mix as well. I can't wait to hear it running either, man. And right now, the good thing is that we have some good news. We'll possibly maybe going to SEMA. I know that I'm going to be going to SEMA, but the goal is to get the car at SEMA, and I think that we're going to do that. I just don't know how, and I just don't know with who yet. But I've talked to already a couple of companies in regards to definitely going ahead and getting the car to Vegas for November of 2020. So this series is going to be great. I hope that you guys really do enjoy this series, and definitely you are supporting, and I appreciate all the people that have supported this channel thus far, and especially supporting this build because it is mind-boggling. It's mind-draining. It's stressful. I haven't driven my car in a month. Shout out to my mom. I've been borrowing her truck. We correlate our schedules, so when I need to drive to work, the blessing of my job is that I can work from home if I really can't get the car that day, and my bosses are understanding of that as well. So that's great. Now I'm gonna answer some of these comments really quickly. There's a lot of them. Now. Aaron did say this opens up a lot of potential for more power. No, I actually work in finance, Calvin. I'm looking for a different. No, I'm not. I'm not looking for a different job. I'm always looking for better opportunities. Let's just say that. Casper, time to move. How much will the real be? Okay, so I'm going to talk about that also. Let's just say it's close to 10 grand. It's close to 10 grand. For this build. Like I said, it's not a cheap build. I could have cut corners and I didn't want to, just because of the fact I don't want to have any issues, and I want to take you guys along for the ride, the whole ride, and no half-assing it. So this is me giving this to you and giving the opportunity to go ahead and make you some epic content for this channel. So that's so it's going to be like around 10 grand. At the end of the build series, when the car is running, I will make sure that I will go ahead and go through the cost of the whole engine rebuild for you guys. Also, now I really briefly, I do want to talk about the break-in process. So when we get everything assembled, I'm going to put regular conventional oil in just to wash everything, all the metal particles in the short block for 20 minutes. I'm not going to drive the car. I'm just going to let the car idle with that conventional oil for 20 minutes. Then after that 20 minutes, I'm going to change the filter, drain the oil, and then I'm going to put AMSOIL and SAE 30 in, break-in oil. Then I'm going to drive the car for 50 to 70 miles. After that, I'm going to drain the oil again. I'm going to refill it with more break-in oil, and then I'm going to drive it 500 to 700 miles. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and then put my Rova or motor oil in. The only reason why I'm not using Rova motor oil to break in the car is because I don't believe they have a break-in oil. I've contacted them already, and they don't make anything as far as a Oh, of course, MK7. What's up, bro? They don't make a break-in oil, so I don't want. You're not supposed to put full synthetic in a break-in engine while you're breaking it in. So I'm going to put Amsoil break-in oil. It has high zinc, so it actually coats the cylinder walls to make sure that everything is everything, and to make sure that the cylinder walls are good and there's no scoring from the pistons. Um, let's see. I'm also going to read these comments really quickly. Edison said, enjoying your build, got mine as a daily, and now spiral to a build. Pretty cool. Like I said, like this is going to be, it's an adventure. It's definitely an adventure. Um, it's definitely going to be an adventure. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see what people are going to think. It's going to be interesting what they're going to say, how they're going to react, how I'm going to react when this engine's out of the car, because this is the most heaviest job I've ever done on this car, and we're going to make sure that we do it right, which is why I chose European Auto for the job. Now, Calvin said paranormal activity. That's what, if you guys didn't see in the beginning of the video, the camera just went down sideways by itself. I don't think that gimbal is doing its job anymore, so I gotta probably outsource another gimbal before this build series starts. So I will do that. Audio is better now. Yeah, I was probably closing it up a bit, so I do apologize for that. Last Human Garage, he saw the end of it, so I did talk about the fluid dampener. Dolomite said, I know it's not your goal, but an RS3 engine swap or an R drivetrain is something that I would think about, especially if my GTI did the same to me. Now, I also looked at that. To first, you have to buy a Haldex. Then you have to kind of like add a whole new rear subframe to the car to get a Golf R drivetrain, just because of the fact that it's an easy swap. You can do it, but it's expensive and it's not cost effective. Before we even talk about the R engine, I'm already going to be spending about $8,000 getting the Haldex, getting the drive shaft, getting the new subframe, because I believe the Golf R subframe slightly different. I believe, I could be wrong. The engine, I would have to get a Golf R engine. There's a lot of things that I have to get. New control arms, new trail arms, because those are different. Um, and I have to get a new exhaust because I can't even run the other exhaust. I would have to cut it up and hack it up to make it work. And I wasn't prepared to do all that work, to do all that. This is already extensive as it is. I don't want to make it harder for myself. An RS3 engine would have been cool if I could find one, but I found an RS3 engine and it was $28,000 with 8,000 miles on it. There's not a lot of crashed RS3s around, but the engines are about 30 grand. And no, 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 no. No, 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 no. It's way too expensive. So I think this would be the better option to have a built bottom end from integrated engineering, and also being able to do all the other stuff as well, and still having some time to upgrade most of the things. And to upgrade everything else. I was able to upgrade the turbos, upgrade the pumps, the fuel pumps. I was able to upgrade the charge pipes. I was able to upgrade the ignition set, which means the new spark plugs and ignition coils. I was able to purchase all the small accessories and not skimp out on anything else, because of the fact that I was able to get all this for the money that I got it for. And like I said, that 10 grand, which is close to 10 grand of what everything's going to cost, is including the labor. So um, I'm gonna pass in the R. It's expensive. R's are pretty expensive. GTI is better. Um, we had that issue with Ava, but he's no longer in this group. Uh, Dolomite asks, have you done an oil analysis either before or after the engine bit it? I got mine done at the first oil change, and it showed signs of serious issues already. It'll be interesting to compare notes. I did not do that. I did not do that. The only reason why I didn't take out the oil and send it out to analysis was because if you saw the last video, the end of that video shows like me dropping the oil pan, and it was full of metal shavings. There was not even a point to send my oil out to get it analyzed by Blackstone. Um, I will do it with this one after the engine's broken in, because even during the break-in process, it is normal to see metal shavings. Not a lot, not extensive, but small amount. Calvin Anderson asks, would you consider going away from the platform completely? I thought about it, but not right now. I don't think I want to do that as of yet. I really want to take this car to the next level and have a real track setup. And I think that's where the car is going to lead into, just because of the fact that I kind of want to probably purchase a daily driver in its place. Um, You're a good man. Some people are just immature. Oh yeah, when I took him out. Why is talking that crap? I don't know. Let's see. Yo, JR, just got here. So you've answered already. What's going to be your daily until the build is complete? M Logan asked that. What will be your daily? I'm driving my mom's Mercedes right now, which is not a bad daily. But I think I'm going to go ahead and possibly get a maybe like a Chevy Tahoe PPV. I was thinking about getting one of those for the channel and being able to have it a tow hitch assembly added to it with the wiring and the plugs for everything else. And then this way, I'll be able to tow my car to the track, and I'll have a daily if the car does break again. So that's something I've been thinking about. You saw the Litco Turbo, which is the new L500, which will be making a lot more power. Pretty sure you're not going to regap those. You're not supposed to regap the uranium plugs. You can. Simple Mod TV. What do you think about NGA racing plugs? Like I said before, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just my preference. How you upgrade your clutch for no slipping? How you upgrade your clutch for no slipping? I just went with a DKM MS Series twin disc, and I had no issues with it. I was able to run that clutch. I mean, the clutch was still good. Had 45,000 miles of wear on it, or 46, almost 50. It was close to 50. Um, let's see. We talked about off the shelf maps. We're going to integrated engineering. No, I'm sorry. We're going with equilibrium tuning for the tuning. Glad to see that you're rebuilding the Mark 7. Jared, I can't pronounce his last name. It sounds like it's Russian, but Jared said, glad to see you rebuilding the Mark 7. I was legitimately sad when you announced that the engine was gone. I started following your channel a while back, and it inspired me to get a GTI. See, I love comments like that because of the fact that you guys are really just extremely supportive, and I'm glad that I can inspire you guys to go ahead and do this. That really does touch me. So I'm glad that I was able to inspire you to get a GTI, and I hope you're having a great time with it. It's a great car. Um, Ian said, high pressure fuel pump upgrade. Yep, Autotech high pressure fuel pump. I did order that. I'm waiting for it to come in. It should actually be at European Auto already. Um, why won't Calvin build an M3? It's money, man. It's not. It's money. He definitely wants to get something where he can mod. He's actually going to start modding his GTI. I think I convinced him with the bug, because he's actually shadowing. He finished automotive school and he's shadowing at European Auto right now. So I'm very very happy for him and congratulate him. You'll be seeing him a lot on the channel as well during this project. If not, then that means he got a better position at another company. My horsepower that I made, unfortunately, I wasn't able to film that video, but the dyno did read 407 wheel horsepower and 435 pound-feet of torque to the wheels. That's what the car made before it blew up. Um, IE intake manifold, like I was telling Buffalo Bill. Hopefully we can. I don't know even if they have something like that for the Mark 7. I am going to do more research on it, and I am going to talk to IE about it, because I would love to be one of the research and developers to run that on the car. Um, let's see. Where did you get that one? The rear main seal. He's running a new block. Can't wait to see that engine. Prawn. Oh. Vinny said, I was thinking while you there, and manifold it out may be a way to get more fuel and keep the valves clean. Later on, I will do something like multi-port injection and modify the intake manifold to do that. Um, that's kind of the route I want to go. Not right now. I want to baby step and see how the car responds to these modifications. And obviously, I'm doing a lot at one time, changing the turbo, changing the charge pipes, changing the ignition stuff, changing the fuel. So I want to see how that works out for me first, and then I will go ahead to do that. Now, also, the PCV has been contaminated with metal shavings, and I don't want to run that in the car anymore. So I am taking that out, and I will be replacing it with the Racing Line Performance Oil Catch Can System, which deletes the stock OEM PCV valve altogether, and it runs its own true oil catch can setup. So that'll be a new setup that I'll be running, which means my Forge Motorsport oil catch can will be for sale. I will put that on Instagram when it is out of the car and ready to be sold. Cold air intake, is it worth it? I do believe that it is. It's definitely worth it for the channel. Not oh wow, for the channel, for your car. It's definitely worth it for the car, just because of the fact that It does draw in a lot of cool air. However, if you really want to get the full benefits of an intake, cold air intake, make sure that you get a tune. That's really, you're going to see a huge improvement in power on a stage one, especially with an intake attached to it, and especially if you live in a cold climate. Um, Nicholas asked, just tuning in, did you find out what caused the engine from blowing? Yes, it was crank walk, which caused metal shavings, which got caught into which got sucked up into the oil pickup tube, and it clogged the pickup tube, which starved the engine. And the engine was able to run, but it had no oil pressure, so it was just bad altogether. So that's what caused the engine, and we'll discuss more about that when I film this video series of the engine rebuild for you guys. So you will see that. Let's see. But I go to Shop App for Last Human Garage says I see the crank seal for the crank seal kit on FCP Euro, but I go to ShopDap to get 99% of my parts also. I like ShopDap. I'm good friends with them. It's not even for the fact that, they're friends with me. It's for the fact that their customer service is great. I met them in person. They're just a great small amount of people, and their operation is just great. FCP Euro is great too. I've met them. I've met the guys at ECS. Check out that video if you have not seen it, of the day that I went out there and they gave me a shop tour and everything. It was great. What else? From crankshaft to serpentine, I'm changing everything. So the cool thing is, what suspension do you have, Bilstein? No, I actually have H&R coilovers, which is the second best brand for coilovers in the market, in my opinion. Car ride's great. Car ride's smooth. I will warn you guys, when the engine build series is done, you're not going to see my Kansei wheels on it, just because of the fact they have summer tires, and now it's hitting 30 degrees. So I will be putting my stock wheels back on, and I will be getting the car aligned with the stock wheels, with the tires and everything else. So you guys will see that. I know it's an engine rebuild, but any upcoming changes cosmetically? We're gonna be changing the steering wheel out. We're gonna be doing two versions of the steering wheel on the car, and we're also gonna be changing the head unit in the car to a Mark 7.5 8-inch head unit versus the 6.5 that comes in the regular Mark 7s. It still have Apple CarPlay, still will function the same, but it'll be a nicer display with the new trim piece, which I will wrap in carbon fiber. And a lot of you guys asked about the carbon fiber vinyl in the car. So what I will do is that I will go ahead and make a video of me wrapping that for you guys. Um, you know, can't wait to see the finished product. Autocross or time attack events, yes. Since this setup is going to be done, I am going to extensively run my car on the track, and I will try to film as much of that as possible. Obviously, the autocross and track season is done for the year due to the fact that it's November, it's almost December, and it's going to probably snow here in the next couple of weeks. So I kind of want to have this car set up to winter mode for now. We already talked about wrapping the car a different type of style. I can't disclose that information yet because it's not confirmed, and I'm supposed to keep it under wraps. So, that being said, wide body, I know. Yes, that must be Lager Mark 7. um, yes, so we talked about the wide body on my Instagram. If you want to see a lot of these stories, a lot of the stuff that I plan to do in a quicker time fashion rather than once a month on my YouTube channel, you can follow me on Instagram, JR14YT. I was thinking about the car might be a SEMA build next year. No, it will be a SEMA build, but it might be at SEMA next year. Um, so I might possibly do something like an Ottinger TCR Street Kit, or probably do something like Jade Motorsports, which actually is in Jersey, and they make an actual TCR replica on the car. I kind of want to do a wide body like that because I love the track inspired theme of just track cars and street track cars. I like the Ottinger because it's a little bit more narrower than the actual wide body TCR, which adds about almost 4 inches of length on each side of the car, which makes it a freaking wide animal, versus an Ottager, which probably adds about another inch and a half on both sides. I can still drive the car on the street. I can pretty much pinpoint where everything is. So, that's that. But yeah, so that's kind of the stuff that we're doing now. I know someone asked me about if the resonator is removed on the stock exhaust, will it sound loud? Yes, it will. Go fluid dampener eventually. Lorenzo, I don't know if you was in here earlier, but already covered, brother. So that is going to be a part of the build. So you will see that on this engine build. So definitely stay tuned for that. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. If not, I'm gonna get off here. We've been on here for about an hour and 5 minutes. I'm gonna give a little bit of moment of you guys to ask me some questions. If not, um, in the next minute or so, then I'm gonna log off of here. Reality said, "Hey, what is a good sounding exhaust that is not too expensive?" I heard good things about X Force, and I actually might be contacting them to see if they want to do something with the channel. I heard very good things about it, so I possibly might do something in that regard. With that regard, I believe they cost like around $500 for the whole catback, which isn't bad at all, and their downpipe runs, I think, 700. I probably, he says that's what I was looking for. Yeah. Let me see. Did you change your DSG oil? Badra, I don't have a DSG. I have a manual. Um, but go to shopdap.com if you are questioning, if you are concerned about changing your DSG oil, then they did make a video on DSG services and how easy it is to do for you to do on your own. So I definitely go to Shopdap's YouTube channel, which is Deutsch Auto Parts, and you'll be able to see it there. Unfortunately, I don't have a DSG car. I have a manual car. Yeah. So let's see. It's not hard. I know that it's not hard. I saw it on there. I saw it on their website. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty nifty. So yeah. Um, what do you think is the best first mod for a GTI? I would start off either one or two things. If you have a DSG card, do a tune. If or top three. Okay. Um, hmm. Just because it's a safety issue, intercooler. I know it's going to be an expensive first part, but intercooler, trust me, you won't heat soak, and that is to save your engine. So intercooler would be number one, intake would be number two, and a tune would be number three. Let's see. Need to swap out my dual mass flywheel. Not happy. Aaron, what kind of clutch do you have? Lorenzo asks, did you ever change your manual trans oil? Does anyone recommend the motor gear oil? I did run a motor gear oil. However, I'm probably going to be running the Rova motor oil. Rova makes also the coolant for Volkswagen, the G13, G12 coolant for Volkswagen. They also do make gear oil, which I will be putting in the car next time. I've done Motul 300 before, I had no issues, and I've done the Molly 75W90, I think that's what it is. I had no issues with that. That's actually the oil that's in the car right now. But obviously I am represented by Rova, and I never even knew they made gear oil. So, and they make brake fluid too. So I'll be running. I'm not going to change the brake fluid because I just did a brake fluid job and changed the lines all the way around. So, not going to be doing that. But I would honestly, I would honestly change it every. I changed mine every 40,000 miles. I changed mine a little earlier the last time just because I was going to a track day and I wanted to make sure that the gear oil was right. I wanted to make sure that I had really good oil in the car, fresh oil in the car, and the transmission oil was good too. So I changed mine relatively every 40,000 miles. I am going to be changing it again. Oh yeah, that's another thing about this engine build. I'm changing all the fluids. That means obviously I told you about the break-in process with the engine. I am going to be changing the Heldex fluid because it is about that time again. I have that refill kit that's in the other room. I also am going to be changing the transmission engine, the transmission fluid out for fresh transmission fluid, and yeah, so I will be doing all of that. You're going to see all this on the build, so don't worry, you're not going to miss anything. I'm either going to probably take you guys to FFE Racing to see the head getting worked on, probably get a little bit of clips of the process. Maybe they can give me a little bit of a shop tour, and I can make that a dedicated video, a part of this for you. Let's see. Jack taillights, I'm sure. Oh yes, the Mark 7.5 taillights are dope. I still have mine. Those are from BMP Tuning, which is actually from BEC Auto Parts. And I have no issues with them. They're absolutely great. They're flawless. I'm curious to get the new OBD11 Pro that works with Apple. Finally, took you guys long enough, but you have it. Aaron says, I have the DSG. The dual mass flywheel is known to go around 100,000 miles, and mine's at 157K, 2006 A3. I never knew that. Wow, that's crazy. Reality says you live in NY. Have you been driving to Bear Mountain? I was there last week and I saw a bunch of people driving. Yes, my car is currently down, so I wasn't there anytime soon. But a month ago, I was around that area and all the way in Catskills, driving on some back roads with some good buddies of mine, some new friends that I met there that enjoyed the Mark 7, and we had some good fun with a Bill STI and a bunch of other cars and stuff like that. Um, Badra asks, bigger intercooler on stock GTI is good. I'm running stage 2 with a stock intercooler. Change your intercooler. Change it as soon as you can. Um, Really, I missed that one. Wish I would have known, aka laggards. It's just cool. All right, we're at 70 minutes, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up right now. So no more questions. I'm gonna wrap this up. But thank you guys for joining in on this live stream. I really do appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy it, please give the video a thumbs up. For all those who have missed it, make sure that you tune in tomorrow. This will be available for you to watch later on. Um, yes, Aaron's right. Get that oil catch can and that intercooler. Remember, below this video, merch is available, and also another design, which is Cars Are a Lifestyle, and a parental advisory style shirt with this logo on the back of the hoodie, as well as the shirt. You can select what you want to order. It does help this build out. So if you did want to contribute, you can definitely purchase some merch. Or if you just want to purchase some merch just to purchase merch, you can definitely go ahead and do that as well. I hope you guys have a great night. And you guys always remember, with Project Mark 7s that have engines that are blown with new parts and bigger turbos with more power that we're going to add to it, always remember that cars are a lifestyle. Take care and good night.